have finally arrived. Before you stands the dragon you have been searching for. More assassins, the dragon sighs weakly. Whether or not the beast is weak, you care not. You muster up your courage and shout, "Prepare yourself, you big lizard." But the dragon's roar sends your bravery flying with the wind. Your legs tremble in fear. But no matter how scared you are, the dragon will not wait. It's kill or be killed, I suppose. "We shall strike you down," you exclaim, slashing out while cheering on your comrades. But at that moment, Vince appears. Its wounds healed, the dragon looks more lively than before. "You too would be troubled without this dragon," he says, standing in your way. "Stop spouting nonsense," the normally collected Melanie shouts. It seems Melanie has lost her composure before her mother's killer. She unleashes a fireball imbued with her hatred. But it is repelled by the dragon's tough scales. And the dragon returns the favor by spewing fire from its mouth. You seem to stand no chance against the revitalized dragon. Melanie looks distressed. Vince climbs atop the beast's back. The flapping of the dragon's wings sends forth one wind blast after the next. "Stay out of this," Vince commands, and flies off toward the western sea. You worry for Melanie, who has been burnt badly by the dragon's fire. "I can't get up," she whispers weakly. Drink this, Bruno instructs, offering her a small bottle. It will help you regain your strength. Bruno claims he drinks it every day. It is a recipe from his father, that of a custom supplement. Make her drink it already, you cry, your panicked expression urging Bruno to give Melanie the supplement. Melanie has a bad feeling about it, but downs it all in a single gulp. And suddenly regains her strength. At ease with her recovery, you descend the tower. The ocean spreads out before you to the west, whither the dragon went. Return to shoreland in search of a boat to pursue the dragon. Congrats. When you return, Oreo approaches. It seems like something has happened to the town. He says a raging wind blew through and destroyed the town. You surmise the flapping of the dragon's wings is to blame. You explain that you need a boat to go after the dragon, and Oreo's look turns grim. Sensing there may be a problem, you quickly make your way to the wharf. You turn the magical key in the lock, and the door opens. You sense a presence behind you, and turn to see a guard. He starts talking to you like your old friends. He tells you this is where Queen Nilla used to store the royal treasure, but not anymore. So, you see, you won't find anything of value in there, he finishes, and walks away. There's a scrap of paper on the ground where the guard was standing. You pick it up and read it. Changed your mind, have you? Come to buy the legendary weapon after all? He whispers eagerly. Come back later. I'm developing a new supplement, he says, then retreats to the back room. You decide to leave him be. The woman says the violent winds stirred up the sea, causing her precious ship to run aground. But if you can return her vessel to the water, she will gladly give you a ride. Your brows furrow, knowing that there is no way you could move a ship. Beside you, Bruno stretches, warming up his body. After striking a fantastic pose to show off his muscles, he charges straight at the boat. No matter how hard he pushes, though, the boat does not budge. It's pointless, you sigh, turning around when a muscle-bound Melanie stands before you. Now it's working, Bruno exclaims, unsurprised at the sight of Melanie. It appears the custom supplement she drank in the tower bulked her up. Let us combine our power, Bruno entreats Melanie. Her whole body racked with chills, Melanie screams out to the sky. You need Melanie's help to catch the dragon. You call out to her. You turn your earnest eyes to her and say, "Please, lend us your strength." But, unable to hold back at the sight of her impressive build, burst into laughter. But in the next instant, you receive a violent punch to the face and are sent flying. You hear your bones creak in a way you've never heard before. But afterward, the two muscle-bound forms work together and return the boat to sea. I will never be a beautiful bride like this, Melanie mutters sadly. You're wrong, Bruno exclaims. Those muscles are the most beautiful thing a bride could ever have. At any rate, you leave the port town and follow the dragon. In exchange for returning her boat to the sea, she says she will give you a ride. Her gaze settles on Melanie. You, my lady, are no ordinary woman, she remarks in awe. Despite the damage from the violent winds, he seems hopeful that the fish will return, now that the thunderous growls have stopped. The woman sighs in disbelief, wondering how someone could be so heartless as to steal the medicine of another. A violent wind strong enough to send a ship flying. The night trembles in fear of the dragon's power. Just as you are about to leave, Oreo comes to see you off. It looks like he has something to say. According to him, the dragon flew to the west, where there is an island called Mount Medica. Rumor has it they are actively researching medicine on this island. He thinks he can use their knowledge in his work. Understanding his father's wishes, Bruno nods. Say no more. Mount Medica. Something stirs deep inside your chest, but you blame your imagination and board the boat without another thought. Wasn't that so much fun? Ritis can hardly contain her excitement as she seeks a similar reaction from Melanie. Sure, Melanie croaks, her face a sickly shade of green. The custom supplement has worn off completely. Ritis turns to you and carries on, oblivious. Wasn't that just the greatest? You, however, are a bit worn out, as your mid-voyage teasing of Melanie prompted her to wring you like a rag. Your first order of business should be a sweep of the island to ascertain the dragon's whereabouts. Tread carefully, as danger lies in the unknown. A road stretches west from the docks, suggesting the presence of a house or settlement at the other end. You take the lead, taking in the island's scenery. It all looks unsettlingly familiar to you. A white, hot streak of pain shoots through your head, feeling as though your skull will split in two. You grab your head as if holding it together, and drop to your knees. The searing pain erases any hope of recalling the memory that felt primed to return to you. Beads of sweat are pouring off you now as you struggle to keep your head in one piece. Drink this, Bruno insists, offering you a bottle of headache curative. You greedily drink it down, desperate for relief. The pain begins to ebb, and you hurriedly resolve to press on. be able to climb that. Fortune favors the bold. Don't hold back. Don't hold back. That was lucky. After a time, you happen upon a village. This place, you mutter unconsciously. Perhaps he is as anxious as you are about this place. You two okay? Melanie asks. You open your notice the ambush a moment too late. Repel the monster attack. I was lucky. I was lucky. Oh? You are accosted by a man the instant you set foot in the village. Medicine, please, he begs. His eyes are glazed over, and his general demeanor unsettling. Should he really have medicine? You give him a glimpse of the medicine. Nothing in this life is free, you sneer. Your callousness is swiftly punished as the medicine slips from your grasp and clatters to the ground. The man runs off to who knows where, making noises that can only be described as inhuman. You and the party resolve to continue exploring the village, despite the unsettling encounter that just occurred. Something is askew in this village. It would be best to proceed with caution until you can determine what is happening. The man glares at you, clutching tight to countless medicine bottles in his hands. He insists that they all belong to him and refuses to share them with anyone. Another villager approaches you. Though his speech is slurred, the demand remains the same: medicine. This villager is also behaving strangely. Will you acquiesce to his request? Ritis briefly reveals the medicine under her cloak. Nothing in life is free, she says, clearly mocking your earlier blunder. Her fun is short-lived, as she too loses her grip on the medicine. Karma is cruel and indiscriminate. You could not help but notice the groans of "medicine, sweet medicine," as he fled. Something's not right in this village, Bruno mutters, clearly worried. You hear a panicked cry up the road. Stay with me. Focus on me. That can't be good. The old man sighs, saying he lost both his son and grandson to the medicine. Not wanting to be the only one left behind, he lifts the bottle in his hand to his lips and gulps it down. You ask the villager about the dragon. The headman can help you if you're in some trouble, she retorts, doubling over to empty the contents of her stomach onto the street. Dozens of empty medicine bottles litter the ground in front of this woman. You arrive on the scene to find a man collapsed in the street, convulsing. Another man kneels over him in an apparent attempt to provide comfort and care. The nobleman wears impressive white armor befitting a knight. He continues talking to the fallen man as he provides emergency care. Seeing the knight's devotion makes you feel a bit like a putz for doing nothing. The villager is in quite a state. In a rare move, you volunteer some medicine with no strings attached. He'll have none of that, the knight barks, stopping you cold. The villager is now clawing at his own face with his fingernails, crying out for medicine. Blood, as black as tar, begins oozing out of his eyes, ears, and mouth. It proceeds to leak from every orifice imaginable. The convulsions subside. Within moments, the villager lies still. A horrific thought makes itself known. This is the first time you have witnessed the death of a fellow man. Even in a world where medicines and elixirs can cure most any ailment, none are safe from death's icy grip. And as well you know, that which is dead can never return. Your mind goes blank. You drop to your knees in shock. Melanie clamps her hand to her mouth, stifling a scream. Riddis shakes uncontrollably. The knight hangs his head. Bruno nervously asks, "What are you doing here?" The knight's name is Sherwin. He identifies himself as a member of the Ivory Order. His travels brought him to this village, where he has been caring for the ailing residents. His face contorts in disgust. If not for these foul drugs, they would be healed. He spits and takes his leave. Bruno gazes upon the villager's corpse with a look of apparent realization. A man approaches you as you wander through the village. "Spare a bit of medicine?" he asks genially. He sets about convincing you that your kindness will be returned tenfold if you just give him a little from your pack. His silver tongue would put even the best salesman to shame. You reach for a bottle of medicine, completely taken in by his pitch. Bruno stills your hand. "I wouldn't do that if I were you." "I really shouldn't," you yelp over your shoulder, already walking away at a brisk pace. You continue wandering the village streets, only to be accosted by the man once more. It seems he will follow you to the ends of the earth. "Why do you want it so badly?" you ask, affording him another opening. He gladly takes it. He first came in contact with it as a child. His parents paid him no mind. And never since forgot its wonderful taste. You are fully invested in this story, and desperate to give the man some small comfort in this cruel. Primed and ready to hand it over. "I've heard better sob stories," Melanie says dryly, having somehow absorbed the man's story, despite the blistering speed in which he delivered it. Bruno thinks you'd better not, but you're not so sure. You heed Bruno's warning and return the medicine to your pack. The man's shoulders droop and he shuffles off out of sight. He appears to have dropped something peculiar in his haste. You had best get out of here quick, she cautions you. If you stay here, then you too will, she begins, then suddenly starts cackling. This cursed island is separated from the rest of the world, she mutters from the ground. I heard that outsiders call this place Mount Medica, she remarks, then throws the empty bottle in her hand to the roadside. You hail the villager, only to receive a blunt, "Go bother the village headman with your chatter," in return. The villager turns to face the wall once more, and smacks his head against it repeatedly. His forehead is soon covered in blood. You approach Sherwin, who is caring for another villager. Is every day like this, you inquire? According to the knight, an elderly man living just outside the village is typically the one who looks after its residents. You'd be best served asking him all your questions, Sherwin says as he returns to his patient. There isn't a soul about. The house is surely abandoned. You knock lightly on the door. An elderly man opens it, beaming at you. He announces himself as Selfor and beckons you inside. Might he be the headman you've heard so much about? Ask me anything you like, he offers. Selfor receives your party, for whatever reason, rather graciously. He could well be a font of knowledge. What will you ask him? You ask if he has seen the dragon. Why, yes, he says. He returned to this island just the other day. Oh, but don't worry, he continues. He hasn't caused us too much trouble. Needless to say, this does not comport with your understanding of the dragon. You notice Melanie lift an eyebrow at his use of the word returned. At any rate, the dragon's presence on the island is confirmed. You quietly celebrate the first credible lead you've yet received. You ask if he is the one in charge of the village. It's true that the villagers call him their headman, but I feel compelled to correct the record and state that my official title is overseer. You make mention of the village's eccentricities. Selfor informs you that the island indeed suffers from an extreme shortage of medicine. He apologizes for the villagers' incivility. Consider it the price to pay for making the world a better place, he adds nonsensically. Your questions satisfactorily answered, you thank Selfor and turn to leave. He asks you to stop. We have yet to discuss the terms of your living here, he declares. You explain that you are only here to pursue the dragon and have no intention to stay. Selfor begs your forgiveness for thinking you were newcomers. It's perfectly understandable, though, what with the non-match among you, he says with a sneer. What does he mean by that? Melanie asks you, unable to grasp the old man's intentions. For reasons unknown, you feel the blood drain from your face. Your breathing grows ragged and you break out in a sweat. We're done here, you say defiantly, as you storm out of the house. Mar runs after you, chirping frantically. Melanie and the others give chase, but you and Mar are well out of sight by the time they make it outside. The two can't have gone far, though. It may be best to first search the village. The woman claims a silly man skipped by right in front of her. Melanie and company find you standing in front of a house. She can't quite make it out, but it sounds as though you're saying to Mar, "This place is..." Melanie calls out to you, prompting you to blurt out, "Sorry, just had a bad stomach ache back there," in your characteristically glib manner. She surveys you both and sees two haggard travelers, unwilling to admit they're in need. "Are you sure you're all right?" she asks, concerned. "Fine, absolutely fine," you tell her, perhaps too eagerly. "So you were worried about me," you shoot back. "No, I wasn't," she replies, her face reddening.